I think in almost 3 years of doing shows with you, you might have just said the most shocking thing.
Talking about the all-offense team. All-offense team in the NBA. This seems like it should be an easy task because most of what we vote when we talk about all-stars and all-NBA is offense, and then we factor defense in a little bit. And yet, I thought this was unbelievably hard to do. First team, second team, all offense. After, for me, the first three guys. And I'll just go ahead and come out because I think we both have the top first three guys. Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Put them in whatever order you want. They all three are just, to me, like S tier, A+, 100th percentile offensive players. And they are easy picks for me to be on that list.
Oh, yeah, that was immediate. And so there's not really any point in spending a lot of time on these three guys. I think it goes without saying, I don't think there's a single person really that watches the NBA, even remotely regularly, that wouldn't have those three guys on a list like this. It's just based on offense, and it's just based on this season. Yeah. That's it. Not like career-wise, not like what we expect, or whatever. So this is just this season. And those three guys have to be on there. You're right.
And real quickly, let me just say there's three guys on here that don't qualify, for me at least. Maybe they did for you. But Tyrese Halliburton obviously didn't play. I think he's a guy that's on this list. Like, he's one of the first or second team all offense. He's a system. You're going to have a good offense with him. He does so many things. Steph Curry is on this list, but not this year. Just has missed too much time. Not on this list. And then Giannis, same thing. I think Giannis probably is. The pressure he puts on into the paint, the pressure he puts in transition, he's probably on the offensive team as well, first or second, wherever he lands. But all three of those guys to me are like ineligible just because this year they didn't have the health or in Tyrese Halliburton's place, didn't even play.
I agree with you about ineligibility this year. Obviously, Halliburton didn't play. Another guy that I didn't consider this year is Tatum. He'd be another
Tatum
guy
as well.
That I think because he's clearly going to be on one of these two teams. I mean, there's a good chance he's on the first team. Yeah. But he didn't qualify. Curry, obviously, the same. But I will disagree a little bit about Halliburton in regard to, I don't know that it'd be automatic first or second team for me.
Really?
No, he's a really good offensive player, and he's a phenomenal dual threat. But there are stretches of the season or like individual nights when he's very quiet as a scorer. And you're kind of like, when he has it going in both ways, absolutely. But for me, that's part of the beauty of the guys that we write down is they do it every night.
Yeah.
Every night. And I don't know that Tyrese Halliburton does every night as a scorer, as much as I love his game. And look, somebody doesn't have to because you got Siakam, you got other guys, they play differently. I understand that. But there are nights when I'm kind of like, damn, Halliburton's quiet, man. Like, you got to get yourself going in this game. Yeah. And these guys that I've got down, and on the 10, I don't really ever feel that way about them. I'm never like, oh man, what's going on tonight? Kind of quiet. They're not quiet. These guys are always loud, and that's why I don't know that I would automatically say Halliburton be on the top two teams.
Well, real quickly, I do like this comment here from BBT Boy Minnesota. Nah, that's a cop out. Rank them 1 through 3. We didn't talk about doing this, but I do think it's fun. Like, these three guys, you're splitting hairs because they're so good and they do it in slightly different ways. But if you were to put it in order, Jokic, Luka, Shai, what's the order you would go with if you're just saying best offensive players in the NBA?
I'd probably go. Oh man, I'd probably go Shai, Luka, Jokic.
Probably. Man, no way. I think I would have it in the exact opposite order. I think I would go Jokic, Luka, Shai. Well, number one, let's talk about this. Number one offensive all time right now this year, this Denver Nuggets team. You go through all the history of it. When he's on the court, you're in a 1 in 28 offensive rating. That's been for 10 years. I think absolutely he generates more open shots than anyone. He probably has the best touch from floater range than anyone. You can go to him in a pinch and he's going to get off a tough shot. So to me, absolutely, I think Jokic is number one. But
I probably would have, and I probably more coin toss between Shai and Luka.
We have this exactly flipped.
That's probably what I would have done.
Oh, wow. All right. Who do you have? So the last two spots here are tough. Who are the next two guys? I went back and forth, man, on this one.
I did too. It was hard, man. It was hard. I wrote down, I think I have like 14 guys I was considering. And like that next 11 after the top 3, it was really, really difficult. And for me, I think what it came down to is when you start looking at them and you're trying to differentiate, there has to be some specific criteria on that particular player that you look at to make your argument for or against, right? That's kind of how I look at it. For me, the next guy on this spot is Kawhi Leonard.
I had him 5th, but I had him on the first team, and I'm with you.
I'm putting him on there, man. And I know that, like, you look up right now and the Clippers are basically 2 games over 500. I'm not putting that at all on Kawhi Leonard. I mean, and they've turned their season around after the first couple months. But, man, he's still, when you watch him, he's still as close to a machine offensively as anybody in this league. 28 a night, 50% from the field, which is pretty much standard. 38 from the 3, so just under 40, 90% from the line, and he scored 20 or more in every game since Thanksgiving. Like, I don't think I really don't know if anybody will ever break Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's record for 20 points in consecutive games. I really don't know if that'll ever happen. I think that's how impressed I am with that record, that you don't have a bad night, foul trouble, get hurt during a game, whatever, sit in the fourth quarter of a blowout when you only had 18. Like, it's so incredibly difficult and almost incomprehensible to think about Shai's streak. But Kawhi's up there in the 50s. He hasn't had one. He's had 19 points on November 25th. That's the last time he had less than 20 points. And he does it damn near every night, 50% from the field, and shoots a high percentage from the 3 and gets to the line a ton.
There are 3 guys I probably would put in this list of Shai, Kawhi, and Kevin Durant, who, when they get to their spot, like before they ever shoot it, you're just like, dang, they got to their spot. They're making it for sure. Shai gets to his spot every single time. Kawhi Leonard has a lot of that in him too, where he's so strong that he can just hold you off and walk to his spot. And he plays at such a tempo that he'll slowly get to his spot. Like, he'll just walk to his spot, and he's so strong and has such control of the ball. So he made my list too. I know it might be controversial. He's not the all-around system player like a Luka or a Jokic, but it just doesn't matter. He puts so much pressure on you because he just walks to his spot every single time. All right, who's the other guy on the first team then for you?
This was probably the toughest call of all.
Yeah.
Who makes it onto the first team and who gets pushed into the second? And to me, it was neck and neck between these 2 guys. But I'm going to go with Cade Cunningham ultimately.
Wow.
On this spot, and I know that I wish his 3-point shooting numbers were better.
Yeah.
But he's shooting 40% from the 3-point line since the All-Star break. I know he got hurt. He's missed some games lately, but still, man, he was a 31% 3-point shooter at the start of the year. And that was a big thing for me because, like, that is an answer for great offensive players a lot of times. And that matters in this league particularly. Most of these guys can get their own from out there, or they, in terms of like a guy like Jokic, who shoots them mainly when he's facing up and they give him space, can shoot it at a good enough percentage. You got to honor it. That wasn't really the case with Cade. He's up that, but more importantly to me, he's 10 assists a night. And he's so good at making what I think is a really limited offensive team, like, adequate offensively to have the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. I know their defense is a big part of it, but, like, it doesn't matter if your defense is number 1. If your offense just stinks, you're not going to be the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. So Cade Cunningham makes their offense adequate enough most nights because of his ability to make the game easier for guys that are limited offensively. That's a big deal for me. Like,
that part.
I'll just tell you right now, Jaylen Brown, I was torn between these 2 guys. I went with Cade Cunningham because of the playmaking factor and the offense he has to generate for a team that's pretty anemic offensively outside of him.
So I have him on my second team, and I almost didn't even have him on the second team, and then I came back to that. I said, wait, hold on, this is silly. Because they really don't have great spacing.
If you didn't have Cade Cunningham in either one of these 2 teams, I'm front right now, I'd slam my laptop down and the show would be over.
I have him on. Right now. I have him on. But I was saying it was this. Well, first of all, it's not like Detroit has this, like, lights out offense or anything like that. And to your point, I am curious to see how he performs in this playoffs. But the truth is, they have a defensive roster and they're better for it. But if you just gave him an offensive roster, if you said, we're not contending yet, but let's just put a bunch of shooters around him. I was sitting here thinking he controls everything so much that they could probably be a 3 seed in the East with just offensive guys all around him. And he'd probably be putting up 15 assists a game. He controls the game that well. He finds guys. And to your point, right now he's making guys who have offensive limitations. He's making it work. And that's how good he is. And if he ever gets a roster with a bunch of shooting, I do think he would look,
Adam, not to mention the fact, can you imagine how much because I just love the way he plays. He's so under control, like, just so physically dominant and smart. But can you imagine if you had guys on the floor that you were, like, that defenders were like leaking out toward to guard at the 3-point line. The amount of space that Cade Cunningham would operate in, he might average 28 and 14.
Yeah, that's true.
If you gave him that kind of space, because his scoring numbers would also go up, I believe. As it is, he's playing in like these tight areas where like, and you're face guarding Duncan Robinson all night. So they try to take him out. And now he's playing in these spaces where like, you got 3 guys on the edge of the lane waiting on him, and he still does this. So that's why ultimately I put him on there.
I think it's a good one. All right. So now we go to second team, and I'm telling you, this is tough. So what do you have for second team?
Well, the first guy I just mentioned, Jaylen Brown, I have to put him on there. Like, and you're missing Tatum. I look at the rest of their roster, and I talked about this a lot. Like, Peyton Pritchard, who I love, former 6th man of the year, but like he only started 17 games in his career before this season. He's our second leading scorer. Derek White has not had a good year shooting the ball. So you add that all up, and to see Jaylen Brown take it up to almost 30 a night, 47%, more than respectable in a high volume 20 shot a night guy. 34%. I wish that was up a little bit in the 3-point area. I wish but he doesn't need to as much because he's so good in the mid-range. And then 7.6 free throw attempts a game this year. Like, that's a career high for him, and shooting just a tad under 80%. But I look at the team, that a massive, to me, overachiever this year based on their offensive personnel, and where would they be without Jaylen Brown having this kind of year?
He's one of the guys that didn't make the cut for me. So he wasn't on the list, and he was right next.
Man,
and it's not because he's not a great player. He's a great two-way player, and this is where the difference between all offense and all NBA is. I'm curious if people disagree with that, but I'm telling you, there's good players on this list. Not like it put some bum in there, although there's one guy you might hate that I have on my list. But yeah, he didn't make the cut. He is in my honorable mention. So he's like first or second guy that didn't make my list. I have a couple controversial omissions, I think.
I'm very, because I know one of these guys you're going to have, and I'm curious to see comparing him and comparing Jaylen Brown this season.
Okay, yeah.
This season alone. And I'm curious. So
it's kind of what you value, to be honest with you. Some of this is
who's your first guy then on the second team that you want to mention?
This one I don't really have like the order of the guys on. I did for the first. Like,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, not in order.
Yeah.
Just like just give me a name.
So I have Donovan Mitchell on my list here.
I have him on here as well.
So Donovan Mitchell would have been the next one, and it's the combination of playmaking and just it's so hard to stay in front of him. The 3-point shooting, the high volume. Like I said, any of these guys, if you told me they weren't on your list, if they were honorable mention, I would agree, because there's like 8 guys that are in this next list for me personally.
I had Mitchell too, but I'm telling you right now, he barely made it. On the second team, and there's a reason for that, because I'm looking at the totality. He has not shot the ball well at all since basically the All-Star game, All-Star weekend. His shooting numbers since the All-Star weekend, he's down to 44% from the field and 30% from the 3-point line. On a lot of attempts. So for me, I don't know what is going on with him, but because normally, yes, man. And this guy's, he can be a machine, and he's so explosive, by the way. Like, he's one of those guys that when he gets it going and hits a couple of shots in a row, he is right up there with the top guys in this league in terms of very capable of having a 20-point quarter.
Yeah.
Like right in front of you, like here it comes, because he's got incredible elevation on his shot, so he can get it off whenever he wants. He's got a great change of pace, so he can juke guys, get by him, get to the line. He shoots a lot of threes, so he can get cooking from out there. He can rack up a lot of points in a short period of time, but he has not been as efficient as he typically is. And this has been going on now for basically, a month and a half, and he has not shot the ball as well or as efficiently.
This happens to him. Yeah. This happens.
I was struggling with him a little bit.
Sorry, I got a little delay here going on. But yeah, it happens to him a lot with Donovan Mitchell, where he fades towards the end of the year. I think because he plays so hard, runs so fast and stuff. And he's talked about this in the past, where he's like, I'm bad at pacing myself, and then I get worn out by the playoffs. Hopefully that's not happening again.
All right, so
who's the next guy?
We do agree. We had both had Brown, both had Mitchell.
No, I did not have Jaylen Brown. I did not have Jaylen Brown.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You said he didn't make the cut. That's right. That's right. Okay. All right. Well, the next guy I know you had on there was Anthony Edwards. I know you have him on there.
I do have Anthony Edwards on the list.
Of course. And that's what I'm saying.
And to be honest with you, he was probably my last guy I had. He might have been my last on the list. But yes.
Okay. Wow. It's okay, because I know you love Ant. Don't you love Anthony Edwards?
I really do. I mean, the truth is, and people don't know this about.
I thought you were considering putting him on the first team. Really?
No, I have one
guy. When I was thinking about your list,
I have one guy that I just know you're gonna freak out. You're gonna just leave the show, I think, as soon as I say it. But no, Anthony Edwards, I think, belongs on this list. It was close there, but he's a tough cover, man. Can score at a bunch of different levels. He still needs to figure out how to like fully solve all problems. That's his big weakness. And
Well,
I do think
and
there's
that's why
ahead.
for me this year, that's why I was like I said, like, to me, I'm looking at Jaylen Brown, looking at Anthony Edwards, and I'm going, okay, scoring very close. I mean, Anthony Edwards is 0.7 above him, the two, but still, anyway, slice it 28.6, 29.3. Those are two, huge scoring numbers.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown, 5.2 assists a game. Anthony Edwards, 3.7. And I think Anthony Edwards has better like offensive talent around them than Jaylen Brown. It's 3.7. So it's, to your point, solving problems and generating offense out of defensive traffic and the way teams play you. He hasn't done that as high a level. And this is fewest assists per game since his rookie year. This year for him, both of them pretty efficient, 47 and 49%, very similar there. One big difference is Anthony Edwards is just a much better three-point shooter. He's much more lethal from out there, dangerous from out there. It's a bigger part of his game. He's a 40% three-point shooter. Jaylen Brown, 34, and both get to the line about the same number of times. So, and I just look at what they had to carry this year. And I thought that Jaylen Brown, for me, was an easier name to write down than Anthony Edwards, but I do have Anthony Edwards on this second team.
By the way, maybe on Friday, me and Tim will talk about why. Maybe the headline will be, nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about Jaden McDaniels being week to week right before the playoffs. Because if they don't have him, to me, they're done. They're just not. He's such a key piece to them. But we don't have time for it today. Okay, so we're a couple players in. We got a couple left. Who do you got?
Next, Jalen Brunson. I got to have Brunson in there.
I kept him off my list.
No, I got to have Brunson in there.
He's obviously phenomenal, but I do feel like he's one of these players that limits what you're going to be capable. Like when I think about a great offensive player, not only are you great, but you're going to make everyone else around you better. I think Jalen Brunson, even though he can do a bunch of things, there's still a lot of players that have to sacrifice to fit for him as opposed to be elevated for him. And that's why I left him off. Maybe you just don't think it matters because he's great enough that everyone just should sacrifice. But to me, that's why I took him off. But when you talk about players I love or don't love, I think Jalen Brunson's unbelievably talented. But to me, it's like there's something about it I don't believe in, and that's why I kept him off.
I mean, I know that stylistically it's not for everybody, but in terms of control of the game, in terms of, I think maybe at the top of the list for me, he still is top 5 in the league of who you trust in important moments in the last 6 minutes of the game.
Agree with that.
The guy he's not fazed by pressure.
Yeah.
And he plays some of his best basketball when they have to have it.
Yeah.
26 points a night, almost 7 assists, 46% from the field, 37 from the 3, 84 from the line. And like the numbers are efficient. The assist numbers pretty good, almost 7 a night. And his control of the game, possession by possession, and how he comes up big when they have to have it, that to me got him a spot on here.
Okay. So you have one more left, or do you have 2 more left?
So I said Jaylen Brown. I have Edwards. I have Mitchell, Brunson. I have one more, and I went to Kevin Durant.
Okay, so I had Kevin Durant up a little bit higher. You had him here. So I have 2 controversial ones. I guess they're controversial. They're not to me, though. One is James Harden, who it's a little under the radar.
It's not controversial. I had 4 names written down outside of these 10 players. He was one of the 4, so that's not controversial. I almost had him instead of Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, so you almost just picked one from Cleveland, which I understand. Yeah, I kind of understand. 20 points a game. He's shooting 44% from 3 on 7 threes a game since getting to Cleveland. The guy still gets it done, man. He's still unbelievably. He gets everything on the offensive end. If you take away the defense, yes, 100. To me, he's on this list. He's still that special. And then the last one.
Oh, God.
Let's talk about the number 1 offense of the year 2026.
Oh, come on. You going Jamal Murray?
No. LaMelo Ball. And I know this is crazy because it's not just him. You know, like that team has a lot of guys that fit his system, like what he does. But there is something to whatever you think of him. You just put him on the court and you watch this team play and you're like, man, that guy just makes plays out of nothing. And every time down the court, he's a threat to do something. I think obviously he has a reputation about these different things. But if you just want to talk about who's been the best offense for 4 months straight or 3.5 months straight, it's been that Charlotte Hornets team, and he is the engine of it. So I give it to him, even though I feel like this one is controversial.
You've put me in a very tough position here. You're going to force me to have to kind of say something negative about LaMelo Ball, man.
Oh,
I've been giving Hornets all kinds of love, and there's no doubt they're fun and all those things, man. I love watching them. He's exciting. He's entertaining.
Yeah.
How in the hell can you put a guy on the first two teams that shoots 40% from the field?
The results. It's the system, man. It's the system.
No.
We're talking about the number one offense.
No, because the system is also tied into these other dudes, man, that have played so well.
They're good players, but
he creates some of that for them. But come on, man, 40% field goal percentage shooter. No, and he gives them the flair in this offense. He's a phenomenal passer. He does make guys better. You cannot have a guy that shoots 40% from the field that has incredibly questionable shot selection. Like a lot of nights on this list of these two teams.
You got the number one offense, and you got a guy.
If you're going to go there, I'm going to give you three names then that I wrote down that you're going to mention him. Then these other three guys I'm mentioning.
Okay. Let me hear.
Tyrese Maxey, I'm mentioning.
He was like the last guy to add because Maxey it's underrated the pressure
Maxey
he puts
didn't
on.
make it for me
Games.
is because when he's out there by himself, he's not an efficient player.
Okay.
His numbers come way down in terms of efficiency.
Yeah.
So that just tells you like the tier of star that he is. But like in terms of like numbers every night, and for the most part efficient for most of his career and like even this year, but like his numbers even like post All-Star game have not been very good. I got to mention him. I got to mention Denny Avdia. Denny Avdia, man.
Come on.
I know you can't, but it makes no sense to me. Denny Avdia has been an absolute stud. He has turned into a force, and he does it across every platform. He can shoot. Now, he's not a great three-point shooter. I'll give you that. He's not. He made a couple last night, a couple step backs, which were really impressive. He starts making that shot consistently. Forget it, man. You're talking about a guy that's going to be, and assuming Portland gets in the mix next year, you're talking about a guy that's going to be in the running for like maybe third team all league next year if he starts making the three a little bit more consistently. But he creates for people. He gets to the line. He's efficient. I mean, no, if you're going to mention LaMelo Ball for this list,
man, I'm telling you, how did they get the number one offense? I'm trying to figure this out. It's like it just happened. They got a rookie. They got a guy at Diabate who can only score if it's a dunk. They got Bridges. They got Miller who's still putting it together, getting together. These are good players. Number one offense?
I think in almost 3 years of doing shows with you, you might have just said the most shocking thing.
Everybody's booing me. I'm right. Everyone's booing me. I'm right.
Come on, out of your mouth. Hey, and listen, man. I'm going to put everything, and keep it in perspective with LaMelo Ball, man, because I've been giving them all kinds of love this year, and him too. And he definitely is like the motor for them a lot of times. But no way with the shot selection and the lack of efficiency as a shooter, and the guys that we just put together.
I know.
And you're going to tell me that you wouldn't even consider Denny Avdia or Jalen Johnson or Maxey, but LaMelo Ball's your guy. Come on.
He's not even my guy. He's not even my guy. I'm just saying, I watch a team that scores every time down court, and he's doing crazy stuff. I'm like, that's the
like that. He's your guy now.
You know what? I'll make him my guy. He's my guy now. I'm taking him.
You will get a LaMelo Ball jersey FedEx to you overnight.
I might have to
I'm going to go get one today and send it to you. Yeah.
Charlotte Hornets, hook me up, man. Somebody reach out. We got a couple.
I thought for a second you were going to go Jamal Murray, and I was not going to hate on that. You would have
preferred that one, huh?
Oh, I would have. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, Jamal's having a great year. It's underrated what a great year he's having.